From storm to survival, the 41-day miracle in the ocean desert. It was one of the happiest days of my life. It was September 1983, and I, a 23-year-old sailor girl, was standing in the crystal blue waters of Tahiti, next to the man I loved, Richard Sharp, 34 years old, an experienced sailor, an adventurous soul, and my fiancée. Tammy, look at this. Isn't it magnificent? Richard shouted, spinning around on the deck of the 44-foot luxury yacht. This beauty, which we called our treasure ship, was going to take us to San Diego. But it wasn't just going to take us. We were also going to make good money from this journey. The yacht's wealthy owner wanted to entrust his boat to reliable hands, and we were exactly those people. Incredible! I shouted back, my hair whipping across my face. The ocean breeze was gentle, the sky was clear. Everything was perfect. Everything was going as planned. If only I had known. If I had known at that moment what I would experience 2 weeks later, maybe I would never have boarded that yacht. Maybe I would have told Richard, "No, I'm not going." But how could I have known? How could I have known that my worst nightmare would begin just a few days after that dream-like day? "Are you ready, my love?" Richard asked, extending his hand to me. That familiar sparkle was in his eyes, the sparkle of adventure. The journey of our lives is beginning. I smiled. I took his hand. "I'm ready for anything with you." I wish I had thought twice before saying those words. Our first week was a complete fairy tale. Every morning we woke up with the sun, drank our coffee on the deck, watched dolphins dance alongside our boat. Richard was giving me navigation lessons. I was teaching him French songs I had learned in Tahiti. At night we danced under the stars, talked about our dreams. "When we get married," Richard said one night as I swayed in his arms, "we'll travel and see the most beautiful places in the world. We'll get a small boat, just the two of us. We'll be free, Tammy. Completely free." My heart was beating so fast. "I even found a name for that little boat," I whispered. "How about Dream Chasers?" "Perfect," he said and kissed me. "Just like you." I was so happy in that moment. I felt my eyes welling up. But these were tears of happiness. I didn't know yet that soon I would be crying completely different tears. Tears that... The morning of October 5th started beautifully as usual. We had breakfast, checked our route. Everything was normal. We were approaching San Diego now. Maybe 10 to 12 days left. But in the afternoon, things started to change. "Tammy, check the radio," Richard said, frowning. "Did you see the drop in the barometer?" I looked at the radio. My heart jumped out of my chest. The meteorology service was issuing a warning. Category 4 hurricane. They named it Raymond. And its path. God, its path was directly over us. "What are we going to do?" I asked, my voice trembling. Richard took a deep breath. "We can't escape," he said calmly, but I could see the worry in his eyes. "It's coming too fast. Our only chance is to prepare for the storm." For the next 24 hours, we worked non-stop. We tied everything down, secured everything, locked everything away. I followed Richard's instructions to the letter. We put food in waterproof bags, prepared our life jackets, checked everything 2 times, 3 times. "If something happens," Richard said that night, holding my hands, "no matter what, you won't give up. Promise me, Tammy." You'll never give up. Why are you talking like this? I asked, unable to hold back my tears. We can get through this together. Right? Yes, he said, but his voice wasn't that convincing. Yes, of course. Just promise me. I promise. I couldn't sleep that night. The wind was getting stronger and stronger. The boat was rocking more and more. My heart was beating so fast I couldn't breathe. Richard was trying to sleep, but I knew he couldn't either. It started toward morning. First the wind. Such wind that I can't describe it. As if a giant monster was trying to tear our boat apart. Then the waves came. Giant, huge, terrifying waves. Get below! Richard shouted. Get below to the cabin right now. I'll come with you. No. Someone has to stay at the helm. Go, Tammy. Go. And I went down. I was stupid. Why did I listen to him? Why did I leave him there alone? Because he was my hero, he was my captain, and I trusted him. But I wish I had stayed. Below in the cabin, everything was chaos. The boat was rocking so much I couldn't stand. Objects were flying. Glass was cracking. The sound of the storm. God, that sound. It was as if the world was ending. Then something happened. A huge wave. Maybe 50 feet, maybe more. It lifted the boat into the air. Literally lifted it into the air. And then we crashed. The boat completely flipped over. I flew through the air. My head hit something. Everything went dark. I lost consciousness. I don't know how long I was unconscious. Maybe an hour, maybe 10 hours. But when I opened my eyes, God, when I opened my eyes, everything had changed. There was silence. A terrible, horrifying silence. The boat was still rocking, but the storm seemed to have stopped. It was dark around me. My head was throbbing. I put my hand to my head blood. I was wet all over. Richard! I whispered. Richard! No answer. Richard! I shouted this time. I was panicking. I tried to stand up, but my legs wouldn't hold me. Everything hurt. Richard, where are you? Silence. I climbed the ladder upward. When I got to the deck, what I saw. No, 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 no. This couldn't be real. The boat was destroyed. The mast broken, the sails in shreds, debris everywhere. But the real horror, Richard was gone. Richard! I screamed. Richard, where are you? Answer me. I looked around. The ocean looked calm, but it stretched to infinity. I looked in every direction. Nothing. No one. No, I murmured. I fell to my knees. No, please. Please, no. That's when I understood. Richard was gone. The storm had taken him. The man I loved, the love of my life, my fiancé, was gone, and I was completely alone, with a broken boat, in the middle of the ocean, completely alone. I cried for hours, maybe for days, I don't know. I had lost track of time. I just sat on the deck, called for Richard, cried. I scanned the area, hoping maybe he would come back. Maybe he's swimming, maybe he's holding on somewhere. But he didn't come. He never came. On the third day, I think it was the third day, I came to my senses. Or actually, I didn't. Richard's words just came to mind. You'll never give up. I stood up. My whole body hurt, but I stood up. I started checking the boat. I made my damage report. The main mast was completely broken, the engine wasn't working. It had taken on water, it was dead, the GPS system was broken, there was no radio. It was lost in the storm, the emergency beacon wasn't working either. But there were things that existed too. Canned food, small amount, water, very little, broken sail pieces, a sextant, celestial navigation tool, and most importantly, my will to live. That night I looked at the stars. My father had taught me sailing, old-fashioned navigation, finding your position by looking at the stars. I took the sextant, made measurements with trembling hands, and I understood the terrible truth. I was 1,500 miles from Hawaii. 1,500 miles. Without a motor, without sails, without a radio. An impossible distance. But I was Tammy Oldham, Sailor Tammy, and I wasn't going to give up. My first task was to make a sail. From pieces of the broken mast, from torn sail remnants, from ropes. I worked for hours, 4 days. My hands bled, my nails broke, my skin burned from the sun. But I kept making it, because the alternative was death. On the 8th day, I had started keeping a calendar, I completed my first makeshift sail. It wasn't that beautiful. It wasn't professional. But it held. And the boat started moving. Slowly. Very slowly. But it was moving. Did you see that, Richard? I whispered, looking at the sky. I did it. I took the first step. Water was the problem now. The water canisters we had filled from Tahiti had been damaged in the storm. Only a few liters remained. I could drink a few sips a day. My lips cracked, my tongue swelled, but I had to endure. When it rained, and it did occasionally, I would take out all the containers, collecting every drop. Once when I saw the rain starting, I cried. From happiness or sadness, I don't know. Maybe both. Food. I had canned goods, but I needed to consume them carefully. 1 can a day. Sometimes half a can. I was losing weight rapidly. When I looked in the mirror, broken mirror piece, I couldn't recognize myself. But I was alive. Still alive. The hardest part was the loneliness. Physical hunger, thirst, fatigue. These were hard but bearable. But loneliness. God, loneliness kills the human soul. I talked to Richard. I know, it's crazy. But I talked. As if he were there. It's a beautiful day today, isn't it, my love? I would say. The wind is good. We're going a bit faster. Sometimes I heard him answer. His voice. Well done, Tammy. Keep going. You can do it. Was I going crazy? Maybe. But it was keeping me alive. Day 15. My water supply was almost gone. It wasn't raining. The sun was relentless. After burning the skin, it was roasting it, then burning it again. My lips were so cracked I couldn't speak. My eyes were swollen. Richard, I whispered that night, I'm starting to get scared. I don't think I can do it. And it crossed my mind. How easy would it be to give up? To just let myself go to the oceans? To go to Richard? But then I remembered. My promise. You'll never give up. Okay, I said out loud. Okay, I understand. I'll continue. On day 20, I caught a fish. My first fish. I didn't have a fishing rod, but with my hands, with patience, struggling for hours, I caught it. It was a small fish, but to me it was like a royal feast. I ate it raw. There was no fresh water to cook it. But I didn't care. Protein, energy, life. It was all inside that fish. I ate it crying. Thank you, I said to the sky, to the ocean, to Richard's soul. Thank you. On day 25, another storm came. It was small but scary. My makeshift sail almost tore. But I held on. I shouted at the wind, "No, you can't have me. No." And the storm passed. I was still standing. Day 30. I should be near Hawaii now, according to my navigation calculations. But nothing was visible. Just blue. Endless blue. Had I calculated wrong? Had I lost my course? Or had I missed Hawaii? No, I said to myself. No, you're on the right track. Keep going. Just keep going. Day 35. I'm very weak now. Even moving is difficult. But I'm still going. Still moving forward. Day 36. I saw a bird. A land bird. A bird that lives on land. My heart pounded. We're close, I whispered. We're close, aren't we? Day 37. More birds. More. Day 38. Something on the horizon. A cloud. No. A mountain. Mountain. Land. I shouted. My voice came out hoarse, but I shouted. Land. Richard, I saw land. But seeing land didn't mean reaching land. It was still miles away, and I had no strength left. By the time I reached day 40, I could barely move. But land was there. I could see it. I could see greenery. I could see home. Just a little more, I whispered. Just a little more, Tammy. For Richard. For yourself. For life. Day 41. November 3rd, 1983. Hilo Harbor, Hawaii. A fishing boat saw me, with my broken, wretched boat, close to death as I approached. They couldn't believe it. God! The fisherman shouted. How did you get here? I didn't have the strength to speak. I just cried. They took me to the hospital. I had lost 55 pounds. My whole body was covered with sores and wounds. Dehydration. Sunburn. Trauma. But I was alive. Journalists came. How did you do it? They asked. 41 days alone in these conditions. How? Richard, I said. For Richard. I had promised him that I would never give up. And now I need to tell you something. Something that I couldn't tell anyone for years. Richard didn't die in the storm. Actually, he died. But not in the storm. A few days before. Heart attack. On the deck, in my arms. I love you, Tammy, were his last words. I love you so much. And I buried him. In the ocean. Sailor's tradition. Crying, I released him to the waves. When the storm came, I was already alone. I was already by myself, and I heard Richard's voice because I wanted to hear it. I needed a reason to survive. And that reason was the promise I made to him. Yes, the story was a bit different. Yes, I changed some details for years. Because accepting that terrible truth, my beloved dying in my arms, was too difficult. But whether he was lost in the storm or died of a heart attack, the result is the same. I survived alone for 41 days, for 1,500 miles, and I finally came home. Today I'm 60 years old. I still sail. I still love the sea. Because the sea didn't just take Richard from me, it also taught me who I am. It taught me to survive. It taught me to hope. It taught me to never give up. The movie, Adrift, came out in 2018. Shailene Woodley played me. When I watched it for the first time, when I saw those scenes, I relived everything. And I cried again. But this time, I didn't just cry for the pain. I also cried because I was alive. I never forgot Richard. I will never forget him. But he keeps me alive. Every day, with every breath. Because the promise I made to him became my life journey. I will never give up. And neither should you. If you've watched this far, if this story made you feel something, please don't forget to like and write to me in the comments. Have you ever gone through such a difficult period in your life? What kept you standing? If you love these kinds of real-life stories, subscribe to the channel. I bring you incredible stories every week. Survival stories, love stories, miracle stories. And remember, no matter what life throws at you, never ever give up. May Richard's soul rest in peace. And Tammy, you are a hero. See you in the next story. Take care of yourselves.